That is former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. She's now been sentenced to death by the International Crimes Tribunal in Dhaka after the court convicted her of crimes against humanity linked to last year's student protests that ultimately triggered the collapse of her government. Hasina, who's in exile in India, was tried in absentia. The tribunal declared Hasina guilty on 3 counts. First, committing crimes against humanity by incitement. Second, order of using drones, helicopters and other lethal weapons against peacefully protesting demonstrators. And third, inaction by government amid these mass killings. So the tribunal also referred to a particular audio clipping where she is heard instructing certain individuals, one of them happens to be the mayor of Dhaka, to inflict violence on these protesters, on these students. And the tribunal in fact went to the extent of saying that these are not doctored audio tapes, or these are not AI generated audio tapes, and these are instructions that she directly gave, and therefore it cannot be condoned, and she has been sentenced to death. Now here's what happened during the proceedings today. The tribunal said that Hasina is guilty of ordering the use of lethal force against protesters. The tribunal observed there was inaction on the part of Hasina and her government, resulting in the deaths of more than 1,400 people. She's been found guilty on the counts of incitement, ordering to kill, and failure of control. Former Home Minister A.K. Kamal has also been sentenced to death along with Sheikh Hasina, while former Police Chief Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamoon has been sentenced to life imprisonment. Meanwhile, Sheikh Hasina has put out a statement, her first response to the tribunal's order today. And in that statement, she has called the tribunal itself rigged and the judgment politically motivated. She has alleged that it was designed to eliminate the Awami League as a political entity in Bangladesh. She's also contended that the extremist figures in the current government want her to get the death penalty, and that Bangladesh is suffering under the violent rule under interim administrator Muhammad Yunus. She went on to say that the International Courts Tribunal was created to scapegoat the Awami League instead of actually seeking the truth. She challenged the Yunus government to take the case to the International Criminal Court of arbitration if they were indeed honest about it, and that she would be acquitted then if at all they chose to do that. Meanwhile, Sheikh Hasina's son, who resides in Washington, spoke exclusively to CNN News 18. He called the ICT trial a sham.
Sir, what is your first reaction to this verdict that has come today?
This verdict was known. This was a setup. This was a sham trial. This was completed within 2-3 months by an illegal government. They had to change the laws to enable this trial, and which can only be done by parliament. And the verdict was predetermined. My mother was not even allowed to hire her own attorneys, her own lawyers. So yes, this is a total sham.
And then how, what from now, the Awami League has already called in a shutdown, but how do you plan to go forward? Because such a sentence, that to a death sentence.
The sentence itself is a joke. My mother is safe in India. What are they going to do to her? This will all get overturned eventually when there is rule of law. Right now, there is no rule of law. And people have responded to our shutdowns in Bangladesh. And we are the largest party. We will fight this. Eventually, this regime will be out soon. And eventually, we will get back the rule of law and fight it.
How do you feel, your grandfather has given his life, your mother has given, you have faced, your family has faced so many things, and then something like this is happening now in Bangladesh?
Yes, unfortunately, it is the Jamaat-e-Islam and the Islamists that are backing this regime. They were the defeated forces from our war of independence. And this is their revenge. But again, for Bangladesh now, it's a matter of the future of Bangladesh, whether Bangladesh returns to stability or it becomes a failed Islamic state with terrorists running free. That is the future. So that is what remains to be seen. We are fighting. Our party is still there. We have the largest number of supporters in Bangladesh, and they are not going to stand for this.
The International Crimes Tribunal finding of Sheikh Hasina guilty of crimes against humanity has given Mohammad Yunus one more reason to create friction with India and set aside other important issues. In fact, he could also launch a global campaign to seek Hasina's extradition from India. Immediately after the verdict, a strong statement was issued by Bangladesh Foreign Ministry asking India to hand over Hasina to the Bangladeshi authorities. Mohammad Yunus, who frequently criticizes India, now has a new campaign to pursue. However, India in its statement says it is committed to the best interest of the people of Bangladesh. This development could lead to further deterioration of ties between India and Bangladesh if both sides does not engage positively in days to come.
All right, I want to go across to Mr. Mohammad A. Arafat. He's the Awami League leader and former minister in the Sheikh Hasina government. Mr. Arafat, the tribunal today in its judgment has been pretty damning and pretty scathing of the former prime minister, saying that she committed crimes against humanity. She gave the orders directly to kill people, that she incited the violence that eventually led to the killing of more than 1,400 people, and that lethal weapons were used directly on her orders. The tribunal also cited one audio clipping today as they were listing out the order. What do you have to say about today's ruling?
Well, about the outcome that we saw today, we're not very surprised about it. We knew that this verdict basically was pre-decided. This is how it was supposed to come. And the whole process is basically a sham. It's a farce in the name of, justice. Because the International Crime Tribunal that was created under the Act of 1973, which is supposed to try the war criminals, those who committed crimes in 1971. This tribunal has no mandate whatsoever to do anything else, but they have basically, amended the act, and which they cannot do it without the parliament. And everything they have done it very illegally. And if you look at the entire team, the prosecution to the judges, to even the, state-appointed defense lawyer for Sheikh Hasina, all of them together is actually part of one team. And all of them are somehow linked with the political parties, and all of them are partisan. And I know that I can give you the identity of each one of them, especially the chief prosecutor was the defender of the war criminals. Jamaat is there. He's directly linked with the AB party, which is an offshoot of Jamaat Islam. So basically, they're taking a revenge against Awami League for first thing to liberate Bangladesh, and secondly, to try the war criminals who committed the war crime with the Pakistani army.
You've seen the statement from the Foreign Ministry in Bangladesh. They're urging the government of India, the Ministry of External Affairs, to extradite Sheikh Hasina. The MEA statement makes no mention of that. They have noted with concern the developments in Bangladesh. What option does your leader now have?
I mean, the government that we see in Bangladesh is an illegal government. They have simply seized power. It's an unconstitutional government. They have no mandate from the people whatsoever. So there's no reason for any international community or any other countries or any government of any other country to listen to what they have to say. That is number one. Number two, they want Sheikh Hasina to be extradited, and for what? Taking forward with this farce that they have initiated. So it's everyone knows this. So therefore, there's no point. I mean, this is just the formalities. This has no meaning.
No, but how do you plan to fight it? I mean, the Awami League cannot contest the upcoming elections. Your leader has now been sentenced to death. She's effectively been declared persona non grata. How exactly are you going to fight this?
See, the thing is, whether or not there's any verdict like this has come out from this ICT or Awami League is banned, the treatment toward us by the Yunus government, backed by all the jihadists, has been the same. So we have to fight it back with the people of the country, and then reclaim our rightful position in the political space in Bangladesh.
But in the elections, which are slated for early next year, the BNP could win, or the Jamaat could win, or the newly formed, the Students' Party could win. What happens to you as a political entity then?
The newly formed Students' Party, they're just going to be vanished in a matter of few months or few years. I mean, they have no public or people support at all. Anyway, and the election you're talking about, this election is not going to be acceptable, neither by the international community nor by the people of the country, because it's an one-sided, pre-arranged, rigged election that Yunus is going ahead with, and it is not even an election, because there's no contest. I mean, you're keeping aside Awami League, the largest party in the country, Jatiyo Party, and 14 Party Alliance, other smaller parties. All of these parties together account for more than 50% of the people. And you're putting them aside and blocking them from the election, and you're saying there's an election. This is not an election. It is just a facade of an election, and they're basically trying to distribute the seats among themselves. They're going to, extend the power that they seize. They just want to hold on to it, to extend it, to give it some kind of a fake legitimacy, but it's not going to work because nobody is going to accept it. So we are going to keep on fighting through the political process, and we'll fight back and get the power back to the people of the country.
All right, Mr. Arafat, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. Former Information Minister in the Sheikh Hasina government there, giving us his thoughts and perspective. He calls this entire verdict illegal and a sham. And let's see how this plays out and what Sheikh Hasina and the Awami League now plan to do after this pretty shocking sentence that came out from the Crimes Tribunal.